What happened? Nothing. Can't you read my mind? If this is you in your romantic relationship, then you do not have effective communication.
You are now tuned in.
Tired of not knowing what your loved one wants? Don't know how to communicate your true feelings? Hi, I'm Teja Priyadarshini, and this is a show about love, sex, intimacy, and relationships. Learn how to communicate better and bring back the romance in your life. This is Game, Set, Love. Hi, welcome to another episode of Game, Set, Love, and today we're going to be talking about how effective communication can literally save your romantic relationship. How many of you have been in relationships where communication is such a big problem? How many of you are able to truly express yourselves without feeling guilty or feeling like you're going to hurt your partner's feelings, or that, if you did express yourself, then the entire relationship is going to go down? Well, this is such a big problem because when we get into relationships, we have certain expectations, we have certain needs, but then we don't end up communicating these expectations and needs with our partners, and we often assume that they should understand us, right? I mean, they should be mind readers and they should understand what we like, what we want, what we need at that moment. But we haven't reached that fifth dimensional state yet where we can communicate with each other through telepathy and understand exactly what's going on within your mind. So, since we're still stuck in this 3D reality where we have to communicate effectively and let our partners know what exactly we want from them so that the relationship gets easier and better, here are a few things you can do. 1. Listen actively. Active listening is something that we all need to do as a human species because we often listen to people speaking to us or talking to us and our minds are not even present. We are so distracted. We have our phones in our hands, or we're watching TV, or we get distracted by something else. Distraction is a huge thing, and especially in a romantic relationship when your partner is trying to say something to you or express themselves or just probably telling you how the day was. Active listening is something you need to do. Active listening means giving your full attention to your partner and seeking to understand their point of view without interrupting or making assumptions. That's very difficult to do, isn't it? Listen not only to their words, but in what tone are they saying these words? Because when you're listening to their tone and watch their body language, you're able to see what emotions are coming through. And this is what happens when you listen actively in relationships. And this is a huge thing, right? When you are with your partner and you're having a conversation, try to keep your phones on silent or keep them away in another room, because when you're listening to them actively, it is a sign of respect that you're not distracted and you're actually listening and hearing everything that they're saying. Not just listening to their words, but also feeling their emotions and what it is that they're trying to express. So this is number 1 on the list. The second most important thing is for you to express yourself very clearly. Be honest and clear about your thoughts and your feelings, and use statements like I instead of you. For example, don't say that you need to do this more often or you need to spend more time with me. Instead of that, reframe that same statement and say that I feel like spending more time with you, or I feel that we should spend more time with each other, for example, right? When you're saying I feel, you are sending a message out to the other person that you're not being aggressive, you're not trying to pick a fight with them, you're just expressing what you're feeling, right? So when you say I feel that we should probably travel a little bit more or go on more romantic dates or do something together, use that I feel statement, because the I feel statement can diffuse even the most toughest situations. For example, if your partner is doing something that is bothering you, you can tell your person that when you do something like this, I feel that I'm not loved enough, or I feel that you do not trust me enough. This puts the entire situation in a very loving manner across to your partner, so that they don't feel like you are accusing them or trying to attack them or blame them for something. And this is point number 3 as well. Avoid blaming or criticizing. Instead of blaming or criticizing your partner, focus on the behavior and the situation that is causing the issue. Try to express your feelings without attacking your partner. Like, for example, if they do not take out the trash, instead of saying that you always do this, you never take out the trash, you should probably rephrase that statement and say that when you take out the trash, I feel really nice that you're helping me out with the household work. That's a nice example, isn't it? Instead of trying to focus on the negatives, you are telling them how you would feel or how you feel when they do something positive. So if they buy the groceries or take out the trash or help around the house or whatever else that you need help with, then it will send a message out that you're appreciating them for the work they put in and all of the effort they're putting into this relationship. And when you're trying to talk to them about specific behavioral traits that you don't like, instead of saying that you are like this, speak specifically about that trait. Don't do a character assassination or be so critical or judgmental about how lazy they are. Instead, rephrase it and say that when you are so pumped up and when you are laughing all the time or when you are so energetic, I just love that version of you. So when you say this to your partner, in their minds, they're seeing this picture of themselves that you really love. And if they truly love you too, they're going to do more of that. And this is something that works very beautifully in any situation, not just in romantic relationships. So try to check your thoughts and your words and convert them into something positive instead of trying to pick out their negatives. Does that make sense? The next point is very important. We often think that people express themselves through words, but 80% of the communication is done non-verbally. That means you have to check for their facial expressions, their body language, and all the cues are in that 80% of non-verbal communication. So when you pay attention to your own non-verbal communication and become aware of how you are sounding, how your facial expressions are, how your body language is it, open? That means that you're not shutting your partner down. Or is it closed, where you are sending a signal that I'm getting ready to fight? And you also need to observe this non-verbal communication from your partner's side as well, because the magic is in the small things. And when you see their facial expression change or the body language change, you need to understand that, okay, hold up, either they're happy with this or not very happy with this. And that is how you then change your tone to make sure that you diffuse that situation and communicate more effectively. There are more ways to communicate effectively than the ones I just spoke about. So before we close, let's recap on all of the points we touched upon in today's episode. So to communicate more effectively, first thing that you need to do is to listen actively. Listening actively will instantly improve your relationship. Second, you need to express yourself very clearly and use the I feel statements so that you do not piss your partner off. 3, avoid blaming or criticizing them. Instead of that, try to focus on the situation or the behavior that is annoying you instead of the person itself. And 4, we use non-verbal communication as a powerful tool in making your communication more effective. So body language is important, facial expressions are important, and even the tone in which you say your words is very important. So make sure that you pay attention to all of that.
You are listening to Game, Set, Love.
Coming up next on Game, Set and Love, we're going to be talking about some interesting communication techniques and methods, and we will also be talking about what goes into a relationship to make it more effective. You don't want to miss that episode out. So until then, have a beautiful week ahead. This is Game, Set, Love. Tune in every Friday at 7 p.m.